Quick, wait, one second. It's okay. Okay. Half a day. Okay, we're going to get started right now. So this meeting is called to order. Okay. The Committee on General Government Operations and Appropriation is now called to order today, Thursday, January 18th, 2024. And the time is 9:10, and I do apologize. I was late. For those who are here on time, greatly apologize. And for the listening audience and those in the audience, please drive safely. But not only that, drive defensively, okay? Just a little tidbit for today. Public notice. In compliance with the Open Government Law, the notices for this public hearing were posted on the Guam Public Notice Portal, KGTF, PBS, Channel 12, and disseminated via email to all senators and all main media broadcasting outlets on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, 5 days prior, and again on Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, 48 hours prior. Agenda item, the following items will be heard this morning in the public hearing. Bill number 230-37 COR, sponsored by William A. Parkinson, an act to amend 40101 of Chapter 40, Division 4, Title 5, Guam Code Annotated, relative to abolishing the post of Sanya Vice Mayor. Physical note was requested on January 10th, 2024. Physical note was received and disseminated to all senators via email by the Committee on Rules January 16th, 2024. Those participating on behalf of Bill 230-37 COR are invited to the panel. So you can step up to the panel right now. And just a reminder of the general rules for the public hearing. Please have a seat. No need to testify. Thank you. Swear in. Thank you. The conduct of this public hearing shall be as follows. 1, please provide my legislative staff with any documents of photocopying and distribution. So we have your testimonies for both those who are testifying today. Panel members are asked to remain in the room for questions or additional testimony as may be desired by members of the committee. Question and testimony shall be confirmed to the substance or nature of the agenda. Personal reference as to the character or the motive of any senator or any individual testifying is not permitted. Any violations of this general rule of conduct will result in removal of the public hearing. Proper form and decorum shall be practiced by all present in the public hearing room for this proceeding. Individuals who fail to maintain proper form and decorum will be restricted from participating and will be escorted and removed from the room. When you speak, please, for the sake of our video people, speak into the microphone. Just lower it down below your nose so you can get a good grasp of the microphone. Don't be shy and speak directly into the microphone. Please state your name and your title for the record. So at this time, I'd like to acknowledge those who are here, my colleagues that are here. I'd like to thank them, Senator Caneta, and of course, the author of the legislation, Senator Will Parkinson. Okay. And at this time, I would like to begin with Senator Parkinson, the author of the legislation, to have his opening remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Happy New Year. Bill 230-37 seeks to abolish the post of the Sanya Vice Mayor. Right now, 7 villages currently have vice mayors. And while these are usually the largest villages, Sanya is 13th out of 19 villages in terms of population and is our smallest village by area. One of the last things Vice Mayor Ariarty did was to write a letter requesting that the office of the Vice Mayor of Sanya be abolished, and this bill respects that wish. It is also my intent that the funds that pay for a Vice Mayor in Sanya should stay with the village to pay for direct services to the residents. I've introduced bills this term to abolish several boards and commissions that are no longer necessary, and this bill is in line with my goal for a more efficient government. A government that is responsive to the needs of our people and focused on public service. Vice Mayor Rudy Iriarte's dedication and service to the village of Sinahanya will never be forgotten. And this bill recognizes that he was simply irreplaceable. I'd like to take time now to thank Chairman Joseph Agustin for his speediness in hearing this bill, and our Vice Chairman, Telo Taitigui, for hearing it in his absence. Truly, I appreciate your cooperation in helping with this.
You're quite welcome, Senator Parkinson. This is very important, considering the passing. And just like to take a moment right now, if we can just have just a moment of silence for the passing of our Vice Mayor Sinahanya at this time. Thank you. At this time, I would like to begin, if it's okay, with Vice Mayor. Would you like to go last, sir? Junk and poll, somebody.
She wants me to go first.
Junk and poll. Okay, so Vice Mayor, please. You're recognized.
Good morning, Hafaday. My name is Robert Hoffman. I'm the mayor for Sinahanya. And before I begin testimony, I want to thank you for your attendance yesterday. It was very meaningful. I'm sorry, I'm going to get emotional. It was meaningful for me and for the families to see you all there and to support him. Understanding his 11 years of service meant a lot to us. So you recognizing that means a lot to us. Thank you. Dear members of the committee, Vice Chair Taitigui, Buenas and Hafaday, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the members of this committee for granting me a chance to present our case on Bill 230-37. I stand here not only as a representative of my Municipal Planning Council, but also in memory of my esteemed late Vice Mayor, whose dedication was unwavering. We are immensely thankful for the swift and efficient manner in which Senator Will Parkinson approached the situation. For over a year, the late Vice Mayor and I engaged in earnest conversations regarding the future of the office. Throughout this time, he was acutely aware of his declining health and the implications it carried. A man of foresight, he was deeply concerned about the potential financial strain on the special election would impose on the community in the event of his passing. He firmly believed that such funds could be more meaningfully allocated to vital public services, such as the hospital or the police department, which are essentially pillars of our society. The Vice Mayor held his role in high regard, yet he was cognizant of the evolving demands of our times. As he pondered his political journey ahead, he recognized that the power to enact the necessary changes lay within the legislature's hands. His role, as he saw it, was to champion those reforms with vigor and determination. In our discussions with Senator Roy Caneta, this was last year, we addressed the concept of right-sizing our government several months prior to the release of the latest census data. This data only served to corroborate our position. Despite our most dedicated efforts, our population does not simply justify the need for a vice mayor's office anymore. It has become evident that there are villages with larger populations that manage without such a position should get one. During my tenure as vice mayor for 2 terms, I frequently encountered inquiries about the necessity of my role. I took every opportunity to articulate my responsibilities, ensuring that I actively contributed to our community's welfare. I always had the hope that our new census would give us the results of the population we wanted. And this is a border issue. All our borders are kind of mismatched. So wherever the census says your border is, that's your population. And this is something we've been trying to figure out. About a dozen years ago, the municipalities of Jigo and Manilao saw the addition of vice mayor to their local government. This is a precedent for change, the capacity to introduce. Now, with the changing times, we should have the same capacity to remove such positions. This is crucial and should be applied here as well. Vice Mayor Rudy was fully prepared to serve out his term. He already dedicated 11 years of exemplary service to our community. To remember him as the last vice mayor would be a fitting homage to his legacy, a testament to his selfless commitment to the public good rather than for personal gain or job security. He served with the utmost diligence, striving to make a positive impact in any way he could. I urge this committee to view this proposed legislation not as an end, but as a beginning. It represents a progressive step toward a more efficient and financially responsible government structure. By eliminating the position of vice mayor, we will not only honor the legacy of a devoted public servant, but also pave the way for substantial savings and the redistribution of resources that would directly benefit the essential services within our community. Let us move forward with this legislation as a symbol of our collective commitment to prudent governance and the greater good of our citizens. Thank you, and si Diyos maasi.
Thank you, Mayor Hoffman. At this time, we're going to just take a short break because we have some technical difficulty, and we'll be right back. Okay? Thank you for that short recess. I do apologize. We are having some air conditioner issues too as well, so I apologize for the fan. Next on the list for testimony is Maria Pangelinan. Please proceed.
Half a day, Vice Chair Tello Tidegui, Senator Parkinson, and Senator Roy Caneta. I'm Maria Pangelinan, Executive Director of the Guam Election Commission. Si Diyos maasi for the opportunity to come before you. Bill number 230-37 seeks to eliminate the office of Vice Mayor of Sinahanya. The Guam Election Commission is ministerial in nature and is here today to provide testimony on the administrative process in the conduct of a special election. A vacancy occurred in the office of Sinahanya Vice Mayor with the passing of Vice Mayor Rudy Iriarte on January 3rd, more than 300 days before the 2024 general election. The GEC bylaw is to call for a special election should a vacancy occur more than 240 days before the general election. At a special public meeting on January 12, 2024, the GEC commissioners called for a special election to be held on March 9, 2024, to fill that vacancy. Candidate packets for the Sinahanya Vice Mayor are already ready for pickup at our office. Deadline to file for candidacy is February 8, 2024. As of today, no one has picked up a packet. As mandated, the GEC continues to prepare for the special election. The cost to conduct the 2024 special election will be approximately $25,000. Expenses include precinct official stipend, ballot production, transportation and security, and mandated public notice. Sizuus Masi.
Thank you, Ms. Pangelinan, for that. I also like to recognize who is here, who have signed up. They're just here today. Don Palmer, U.S. election. Okay, sorry. Oh, you stepped out? Okay. And Heather Ford, assistant, hi, thank you for being here. Hannah Farhart, okay, also stepped out as well. Calb Hayes, comment on House Administration, and Tom San Agustin, of course, with Guam Election Commission. Hi, Tom, good to see you here. I just wanted to recognize that those who are here present today. Thank you so much for your testimony. I'm going to turn it over to the author of the legislation to ask some questions, and then I have some of my own as well, Senator Caneta. So please, Senator Parkinson, do you have any questions at this time? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Guam Election Commission, is there any sort of drop dead date we have to get this bill passed before it's too late? That's before the election? Because I see the election date as kind of the absolute last day, but is there a absolute last day before that we're not aware of?
Senator, no. What we do, we have precinct official training set up or, scheduled, but that depends on the parties of when they give us precinct officials. So you're right, the drop dead deadline is March 9th. We have public notices that are required. Those cost a little bit as well, but in terms of expenditures, it'll probably be the public notice requirement and the training of precinct officials.
And when would that be, ma'am? When would be the training and the public notice? Yeah, when would you have to send out your public notices and training?
Okay.
Because part of what we're doing this too is we're trying to save costs for you folks, but I understand that until the bill is passed, you have to move as if the bill is never going to pass.
Okay.
And I understand that. And so we're just trying to find a way to get this bill passed in a timeline that we actually save you folks some money.
Sizuus Masi. So on Thursday, February 8th is when the packets are due, which means that if people turn in packets, the staff and I have to go through those petitions. The first date of publication is the same date. We have to, February 8th. We have to publish the proclamation by the governor that says that we're having a special election.
That part right there.
And February 23rd, or February 26th, okay? Senator Will, this may be strategic too. February 26th is when we will start homebound voting.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, okay? So, sir, Senator Will and Vice Chair Cello and Senator Roy Caneta, what is the commission to do if nobody turns in a packet? What is the commission to do if nobody turns in a packet? Okay, and that will be up to our commissioners.
Thank you, ma'am. The reason I asked the question is because, we are considering potentially trying to expedite this on the next session agenda. And so, with that information, thank you for that. That really sets in my mind that if we're trying to save money, we need to do this quickly, and especially before February 26th. I think that's the more important date, because I would never want to be in a position where people have cast their vote and then we've eliminated the position. So absolutely, we want to avoid costing you guys some necessary fund, and more importantly, costing people who have taken the time to exercise their sacred right of voting and to have that position disappear. So thank you so much for that, and I have no further questions.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Caneta, do you have any questions at all?
I don't have any questions. I mean, I have probably one question. Well, thank you for our friends from off island for coming here to help us modernize our election commission. I'm a very big proponent for that. I'm a part-time official over at Guam Election Commission sometimes. I have long conversations with the director and the team there. But again, my condolences to the Sinahanya mayor, the team, and the whole community of Sinahanya for the passing of their vice mayor. His services won't go unnoticed. Sinahanya is a very successful village, I think because of the leadership. Tried and tested and true. So without further ado, I wanted to clarify if this bill passes before the 26th, say we push it onto this session agenda, being that it's so important for it to be passed, right? It would just cut clean everything, right? You guys would stop process on the election commission side for anything further. You won't even have to post any public notice, so you wouldn't have any costs affiliated with that, correct?
Yes, sir. I believe the bill says that it's effective upon enactment.
Yes. Just wanted to get that support on that. Other than that, I don't really have any questions. You guys keep up the good work. I think the legislative body will consider this, if needed, onto this closest session agenda. Okay.
Thank you, Senator Caneta. Go ahead.
I guess for historic background, the reason why Sinahanya had a vice mayor is leading up to the war, the deputy commissioner, Sinahanya was large. It actually went all the way to where Pago Bay is, big portion of Ta'i Manilao. So if you ever look at the land management maps, a lot of them, when they're doing land, is Old Sinahanya, MTM. So it was a large area that had thousands and thousands of people. It was until the Organic Act started shaping these out and these villages became their own. But if if anybody who's gone to some of their offices and they look at the wall and see their former mayors and deputy commissioners, we all have the same person. I'm like, how is this possible? It's because Sinahanya. So that it was that large, and then we were always hoping that we could fix the border issue, but then it kind of always dwindled down. So we went from 3,000 down to 2008 to 2005 right now. So that's kind of where we're at in monitoring for 3 censuses.
Thank you, Mayor Hoffman. I have no doubt, Mayor Hoffman, I've seen the work you've done. You work very hard. You're one of the hardest working mayors I've known, and been in this position for quite some time, and it's justified, by your constituents in Sinahanya that they want to keep you because of the work you do. I do realize, though, that, that being said, I was curious why I haven't heard from the Mayor's Council themselves. Usually the Mayor's Council would have a resolution put together in agreement that this would be in the best interest of the village, best interest of the Mayor's Council to have only a mayor and not a vice mayor. We've seen in the past places like Ordot Chalampago, 2 villages put together, because of the population. That's usual. You have MTM. We were just talking with the author of the bill, Senator Parkinson, just like MTM, Mangmang Totomaiti was put together. Some of the other, villages. So it's justifiable, I think, very much so, based on population and cost. We're always looking at saving cost. I do know that Senator Parkinson wants to keep the funding that goes to the vice mayor and Sinahanya stay there. That's another discussion all itself when it comes to finances. So, but can you tell me if the Mayor's Council have had this discussion and what is their take on it? And do you plan on getting a resolution before we go into session next week to have something to put on the table? We can make an amendment to the committee report to include this, but it would be good to hear from the Mayor's Council.
I could ask them. This happened, I want to say very fast, but we don't have a January meeting at all. Mayor Alec is off island testifying before Congress about the compact impact. We kind of take our holiday break. So from the December time, and we don't, for mayor's council, normal is they don't kind of chime in on another villages. They kind of stay territorial, like that's your business, you do it. Whatever your residents decide, that's on their end. They don't want to come in and say, hey, yeah, we're going to do it this way or that way. So we kind of stay territorial. You know, we don't govern them, they don't govern us. But as a council, they did submit the fiscal request or the note saying what it would affect, the salary, the benefits. I think they did respond to BBMR when asked. Mayor's Council did send the information that way. I can bring it up in our first February meeting about that, but you know, from what I understand is I'm not going after the other villages, or you know, they're well deserving and they work hard in their end there too. Just looking at the 4 points that I made is that really it's just the savings, because I remember talking with Maria prior to the vice mayor's passing about this. I said, how much is this going to cost? And you know, I told the vice mayor, and then we were even asking, you know, what's the cutoff date if you don't have to have an election? She said March 10th. I'm like, buddy, can you make it to March 10th? And he's like, no. You know, he's like, I'm very sick, and he's going to go. So I really appreciate at least expediting it this way. And, you know, I know that to get on the session, you need your committee reports and everything. And I've been talking to some of the senators, but this is a discussion that we had, Senator Caneta and I and the vice mayor had more than a year ago already about this, about saying, hey, you know, let's look at this and explore this, at least for Sinahanya. I don't want to talk about Jigo and all those other villages. If they want, and if Ora Chalampago wants and Jotnya wants, who do have the population to get a vice mayor, let them come and advocate for it on their end. I'm just carrying on the vice mayor's wishes here to just say, is this something we could do for him?
Thank you. Did we get any of your constituents from Sinahanya that support this bill or not support this bill from your constituents in Sinahanya?
No calls against it. The people that did call were questioning why. They thought Will was doing it without my consent or without the office consent. He's like, why is Will trying to do this? I'm like, no, we actually said, yes, you know, this is something we're supporting. They're like, oh, okay. And then they understood after we laid the case. Our MPC is aware. We do also have somebody, just in case the election does need to happen, that we do actually have somebody that's going to run on that end. But he's also agreed that, hey, if they're going to eliminate it, I'm okay with them eliminating it. I'll even advocate for it. So whether it be for the special election, if we can't make it in time with special election, or eliminating it for the 2024 race, moving forward, it works either way in the savings in the long run on that way. And yeah, we can have a discussion about the salary and the position. We are one of the busier community centers, as you can see, as you were there yesterday.
What about your municipal council? Have you sought their opinion?
Just on our WhatsApp and our text, because that was Senator San Agustin's request, but I would have to call a council meeting together, which would require all those notices. So we're trying to do kind of both tracks. So I invited them to come down, and most of the time it's just, you know, we trust you, boy, what you need to do there. I'm okay with them submitting testimony. They're more than welcome to submit testimony as well as private members. The one person I did approach, Joni Borja, who was a big HR person for the U.S. Joint Region, she agreed. She's like, actually, yeah, there's actually a process for this. We do this all the time.
And she sits on the council?
She sits on our council. She's like, this is something we normally talk about all the time in federal government-wise, is that, hey, if there really is no need, and financially, they'll go and bring it before the brass and say, we need to eliminate this. So she did call it something, I'm trying to remember the term, but it was just basically saying that we kind of outgrown our way here, and there is no way to justify it fiscally and financially. If it didn't cost money to have a special election, I'd kind of be okay, somewhat of saying let's write it out for the 2024. But after hearing yesterday's GMH testimony and everything, I was like, you know, and when I was up at the hospital, I was with the vice mayor on his bedside, and he's like, you know, the mold and stuff. I'm like, I know. He's like, let's spend the money that way. Let's not do it on an election. I said, I'll bring it up. So we did bring it up to Senator San Agustin in December.
Okay. Well, if I may, you know, ask a request on behalf of the committee to provide some testimony from your municipal council. I'd also like to hear from the mayor's council, if it's not, you know, at least some of the mayors in your vicinity, like Aganya Heights, Hagatya, those who are surrounding Orda Chalampago, to hear what they have to say. Those who are surrounding your villages might be very helpful. More documentation gives justification, and that's what we're looking for here, because this is an election. It's very touchy. You know, it could be construed as, self-serving too, to not have it and utilize the funding for something else in the village instead of something that could be less important. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I do have a fiscal note that's here that was provided. It says the purpose of Bill 230-37 amends language to abolish the post of Sinahanya Vice Mayor. Based on the Mayor's Council of Guam's most recent staffing pattern, the Sinahanya Vice Mayor's salary and benefits amount to approximately $94,521.40. This would be estimated cost savings if this proposed bill were passed, and that's a fiscal note that was provided by BBMR. So that's my only request, to get those, because I'd like to put this on the session agenda, but I don't like putting it on there without the justification by Mayor's Council, by the Municipal Council, by some constituents of your village that they support this. So maybe even a petition going around your village might be very helpful, whether it's 50 or 25 or what, at least something's coming in on behalf of your village for that.
I can ask the MPC to do a joint letter, so it doesn't require me calling a special MPC meeting for it, so we can meet the timelines. I can get them to sign off on it.
So we go in on Monday for session. I will make the recommendation to put it on the session agenda to allow 5 days, so we won't be hearing it until maybe Friday or the following Monday, just to allow that extra 5 days and put it on the agenda if we get the votes. I'm not a proponent of putting bills on that doesn't have the 5-day requirement, but considering this is going to save the government of Guam funding, the Guam election, of course, this is something we need to do. That being said, any more questions? Would you like to close, Senator Parkinson?
Yeah, just very briefly, Madam Chair, thank you very much. Once again, I'd like to thank Chairman Joseph Agustin for getting this scheduled very quickly, and his Vice Chairwoman, Senator Taitigui, for being very accommodating and chairing this while he's off island. I'd also like to thank everyone who came today with their testimony, and I would like to thank the Village of Sinahanya and the Iriarte family for their service to Guam. Thank you for sharing him with us. The Election Commission is gearing up for this special election in Sinahanya, so it is imperative that we get this bill passed quickly, and we will do everything we can. We will make all the attempts. We'll see where it goes. I think we have a good chance of getting this done this next session, but regardless, we are going to see this through to the end. And with that, that's my closing, Madam Chair.
Well, thank you, Senator Parkinson. And that being said, there's no one else here to testify, and the bill has been heard. This hearing is now concluded. I want to thank everyone attending, and especially those from off island. You have an opportunity, if you want to come up and testify. I did recognize you. So Bill 230-37 COR, public hearing is now adjourned. The time now is 9:43 a.m. on this day of January 18th, right? No, what day is this? Yeah, January 18th, 2024. Thank you so much. Please drive safely, but most especially drive defensively. Thank you.